Hi guys, I'm Abby and today I'm going to be teaching you a little bit about singular versus plural sentences in Latin. The lesson is a beginner lesson, so it's appropriate for people who've just started learning Latin or maybe want to brush up on the basics a little bit. It does assume that you've got a little bit of vocabulary knowledge and are somewhat familiar with the noun declensions 1 to 3 and the verb conjugations 1 to 3. But we will just be focusing on the present tense and the nominative case, so it's not too difficult today. Our learning objective that you can see at the top is to be able to identify, differentiate and successfully translate singular and plural nouns and verbs. So hopefully by the end of the lesson you will feel confident spotting the differences between singular and plural sentences and translating them correctly. So if we have a look over here at our example sentences, we've got fairly basic two-word sentences here. Puella laborat, servus ridet, Leo currit, mercator dormit. So those are our sentences in the singular. I'm just going to underline our nouns in red. So puella, servus, Leo, mercator. You should be fairly familiar with these words: girl, slave, lion, merchant, and there we're just seeing them in their nominative singular form. This means that they refer to just one person or thing. So we're talking about one girl, one slave, one lion, and one merchant. But when a noun refers to more than one person or thing, we say it is in the plural. In Latin, when a sentence is plural, we use a different verb form and a different noun form. So if we have a look at our plural nouns here, we can see that puella has become puellae, servus has become servi, Leo has become leones, and mercator has become mercatores. So what you might have noticed, if we have a look at this table down here, is that the plural form of a noun depends on its declension. So all nouns change in the plural, but they will change differently depending on the declension. So having a look at first declension words like puella, the ones that normally end in an A, when we put them into the nominative plural, they become puellae, so we add an E on the end. And we've got some other examples here: ancilla, ancillae, femina, feminae. If we move on to second declension nouns, second declension nouns are the ones that normally end in a US. So in our example up here, we've got servus, servi, but also amicus, amici, puer, pueri. So puer is one of the slightly unusual second declension nouns that doesn't end in an us, but it still changes to an I in the plural. And then if we have a look at our third declension nouns, these ones can end in lots of different things, so they're a little bit harder to remember, but we change them into the plural by adding an ES. So mercator, mercatores, Leo, leones, senex, senes. So what I'd like you to do now is, if we have a look up here at number 1 in our practice, it says, can you identify the declension of the following nominative singular nouns and then write them in their plural form? So if you'd like to have a go at that, you can just pause the video here and answer those questions yourself. Otherwise, I'm going to run through them now and give you the answers. So, actor. What we have there is a third declension noun. It looks a bit similar to mercator. And so in the plural, we need to add an ES, and it will look like that, mercatores. Kibus, meaning food, is a second declension noun like servus, and in the plural we need to take the US off and add an I, so we have kibi. Spectator, another third declension, so again we're adding an ES, and I'm sure you can all guess what that means because it looks like the word that it means, spectator. Taberna so ending in an A, which means it's first declension. So in the plural, we're going to add an E on the end, tabernai, dominus, similar to servus, and kibus, second declension, and we're going to be changing the US to an I. And finally, pecunia, first declension ending in an A. So in the plural, it's going to look like that. Nice, okay. So that is the nouns. That is how we change nouns into the plural. Now, I think if we return to our examples, let's have a think about the verbs that we've got here. So I'm just going to underline the verbs for you in blue. So we've got laborat, ridet, currit, dormit, and then in the plural, laborant, rident, currunt, dormient. So what you might have noticed is that all of our singular verbs end in a T, and this is because they are in the third person singular. So I've put this table down here just as a little recap, but as you hopefully remember, present tense verbs go amo, amas, amat, amamus, amatis, amant. So in the third person singular, we've got the ending in a T. And if we have a look at our plural verbs, these are third person plural verbs, so they're ending in an NT, an unt. Laborat becomes laborant, ridet becomes rident. And what you might have noticed, and I've just put a little note down here at the bottom for you, is that third conjugation verbs like kuro, kurit, when we change them into the plural, the I changes to a U. So currit becomes currunt. It's not currint, I-N-T, it's unt, U-N-T. And that is the same for all third person verbs with an I in them. Okay, great. So what I'd like you to do now is if we jump over to exercise 2 in our practice section, can you try putting the following third person singular verbs into their plural form? So once again, if you'd like to have a go at that, you can pause the video here. Otherwise, I will go through them quickly now. So our first word there, ridet, he, she, it laughs, in the plural would become rident. So we're adding that nt to the ending. Ambulat, he, she, it walks, becomes ambulant with the nt at the end. Sedet, he, she, it sits, becomes sedent, nt. Contendit over here. Now, contendit is our first example that is a third conjugation verb. So what we need to do here is change the I to a U and then add the nt. So contendunt, they hurry. Harbet becomes harbent, and clamat becomes clamant. Okay, fantastic. So now let's have a look at this exercise down here, exercise 3. What I'd like you to do is select the correct form of the words from the brackets and then translate the whole sentence. So once again, if you'd like to have a go at that, you can pause the video. Otherwise, I'll go through it for you now. So our first sentence here, puellai in teatro, and then we have the choice between sedet or sedent. So what we need to do is we need to identify whether our noun is in the singular or the plural, and that will help us select the correct form of the verb. So we have puellai here, which we know is the plural form of puella. So we need to select the plural verb, sedent. And our sentence will then read, puellai in teatro sedent, the girls sit in the theatre. Number 2, agricolae ad urbem, and we've got the choice of currit or currunt. Once again, agricolae, it's a first declension noun ending in a, and here we can see the plural form of it. So we know that we need to select the plural verb. And then the sentence would read, agricolae ad urbem currunt, the farmers run to the city. Number 3, nuntius in foro, and then we've got the choice of clamat or clamant. In this case, our noun, nuntius, messenger, is in the singular. It's a second declension noun in the singular. So nuntius in foro, we need to select the singular verb, which will be clamat, and our sentence, nuntius in foro clamat, would be the messenger shouts in the forum. Okay, number 4, pastor pecuniam non, and then we have the choice of habet or habent. Our noun is pastor, which is a third declension noun in the singular, like mercator. So we need to select the singular verb, habet, and our sentence, pastor pecuniam non habet, would read, the farmer does not have money. So that farmer's a little bit unfortunate, doesn't have any money. Non habet pecuniam. Okay, number 5, mercatores ad theatrum and then we have the choice of contendit or contendunt. In this case, our noun is mercatores, and it's in the plural, third declension in the plural, ending in es. So we need to select the plural form of the noun, contendunt, and our sentence, mercatores ad theatrum contendunt, would mean the merchants hurry to the theatre. And finally, number 6, femina fabulam, and then we have the choice of spectat or spectant. So we need to figure out if this is singular or plural. Our noun, femina, ends in an A, so it's a first declension noun in the singular. So we need to select our singular form of the verb, the one that just ends in T, so that will be spectat. And our sentence, femina fabulam spectat, would be the woman watches the play. Okay, fantastic, great work. I hope that you enjoyed the lesson and learned something. And thanks for listening. Bye.